everybody, welcome to my Halloween kitchen. So this week I have got some things for you for next Halloween so that you're all set, whether it be going to someone's house and taking something with you, whether people are coming to your house to trick or treat and you're staying home and you want a quick easy dinner, whatever it may be. I think I have you covered here. I've got my notes. The first thing, well, they're not in order, but I have a pumpkin beef soup slash stew, depending on how much you put in it. So tasty, so good for a cold night especially. We have a pumpkin spice cake drizzled in caramel. It's so good. We also have some goulash. Another easy dinner. Super simple. Throw it in the crock pot. Everything comes from the crock pot. Then I did some Halloween cupcakes. They're great to take to friends to a party. Some pumpkin spice hot chocolate. It was so good. I drank a cup, Big Daddy drank a cup. We were running around like crazy people on a sugar high. We could have kept up with our grandkids on Halloween. I hope you enjoy, so without further ado, let's get into today's meals. Today we're going to make some beef pumpkin soup. This was absolutely delicious. Never had pumpkin before, so I was surprised, but I tell you, this would be great to have in the crock pot, especially on Halloween night. You're out trick-or-treating, you come home, this is waiting on you, nice and warm. So the first thing you do is marinate your beef, which we're going to do here. I'm just getting it all in my bag. We're going to use soy sauce. I use liquid aminos, but a low sodium soy sauce would work too. And then some garlic. And that's all we're going to marinate it in. This marinate for about 20 minutes. And while our beef is marinating, we're going to go ahead and cut up all the vegetables. I'm just going to line them up in this pan so I have them all together and ready to go. And while I was chopping up all these vegetables, I cut the pumpkin in half, got the seeds and everything out, put it in the oven to warm up to help with slicing it because they're very hard. So the first thing I did was cut the skin off. I don't know what happened to the camera there. I realized it wasn't running, so I turned it back on. But after you cut the skin off, which we'll see me do the second half in just a minute, you just dice the pumpkin up like I did the rest of the vegetables. Now we've got everything cut up. I'm going to go ahead and put some oil in the crock pot insert. If your crock pot's not meant to go on the stove or in the oven, then just use a pan to cook the vegetables. It calls to cook the tomatoes and the onions. I did get some peppers in it. It doesn't matter if you do. I didn't read through the directions at the beginning, so I had put all my vegetables in the same pan. But if you, better idea is to put the peppers, I'm sorry, the tomatoes and the onions in a separate dish, because those are what you want to saute. And then after they're sauteed, you go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of tomato ketchup. And then you're waiting for this to seep a little sauce. And then once that's done, we're going to go ahead and put in our meat and some red wine. Now I use a red cooking wine. You can use any kind of red wine you have on hand. And now we're waiting for our meat to brown. This took about, I'd say about 10 minutes, wasn't too long. And then once the meat is brown, we're going to go ahead and add everything else. All the ingredients will be listed at the end of this clip, so you can take a screenshot of the ingredients if you'd like to use that. They'll also be listed on the website along with the directions, and that link will be down in the comment box below. Now this called for fresh parsley. I did not have any on hand, so I used dry. It called for like half a cup, but I certainly didn't use that much. Now I'm going to add the 4 cups of chicken broth. You can use chicken or beef. I just didn't have enough beef on hand to make 4 cups, so I used the chicken. But I think it would taste real good with the beef since this is a beef soup. Now I'm just adding a little salt and pepper, and then we're going to get everything mixed up. Turn this on. It says to cook on low 6 to 8 hours. I went ahead and did 8. Here's the finished soup, and here are your ingredients. Another great idea for a Halloween party or a Halloween night is cupcakes. So simple. I made chocolate cupcakes, and then I used an orange icing that I found. I'm pretty sure it was either Walmart or at Lidl, which is a store we have down here. I don't know if you have that in the area, but I'll show you the icing bulk tub in just a moment. It is a Pillsbury brand, so I'm sure it can be found in other places. So first of all, I'm going to make up the cake mix per the directions on the box, and then we'll get them baked. And with the magic of television, they're all cooked and done, and now I'm going to ice them. Okay, so I've iced them. Now I'm going to put the sprinkles. This is what it is. It's a Pillsbury brand, and it comes with the little sprinkles on top. And because Big Daddy and I didn't want to eat all the cupcakes, I made up some boxes for my grandkids and also took some next door. And then I forgot to give it to my grandkids. We went to the zoo and it was so exciting. I totally forgot that I had them in the book. So Big Daddy took them over to our son's house, and the boys, his two boys ate them over there. I'm gonna have to make my daughter and her family some more in the near future. But here they are, all boxed up. They thoroughly enjoyed them again. I don't have a recipe or ingredients for this, but cupcakes, great idea. Another great recipe to have in the crock pot if you've got a busy evening of trick-or-treating. So the first thing I'm going to do is brown the ground beef. I'm doing this in the insert of my crock pot, but again, if you don't have a crock pot, you can do that, just cook it in a frying pan. Then I'm adding all the other ingredients, which will be listed at the end of this clip and also on the website, link in the description box below. This can be cooked 2 to 3 hours on high or 4 to 6 hours on low, and you want to add the pasta for the last 30 to 45 minutes, or you can do what I do and cook the pasta separately so it doesn't get combined and mushy. Here's our finished plates. I just served the pasta and then I put the sauce on top on the plate itself. I hope you give it a try. It's really tasty. Here are your ingredients. This cake was so good. I loved the addition of the pumpkin pie spice with the spice cake. So if you want to give this one a try, I definitely recommend it. Also, the homemade frosting. Oh yeah, really good. So the first thing you do is put everything in the bowl for the cake mix. You're using the directions here on the recipe, not the box. We're adding here the pumpkin pie spice, got my tongue twisted today, and some pumpkin to the mixture. And then we're going to mix this with the blender until it's well combined. Now you want to line the crock pot with some parchment paper, and the trick I have learned since using this, which I did not know before, is you take your parchment paper and you crumple it up into a ball and then open it up, and it's so much easier to work with. Now we're going to pour the mixture into the crock pot. The recipe stated this would take 1 3/4 hours to 2 hours, or until the toothpick comes out clean. Mine actually took 2.5 hours, which is unusual, but everybody's crock pot is different. Now the cake's done, I'm going to go ahead and mix the frosting ingredients and get that whipped up. Now I did cut the top of the cake so that it was all level, because mine had a dip in the center. Now I could have probably just filled that with the icing, but I chose to cut the top. Okay, now we're going to ice the cake with the frosting, and I added walnuts and caramel sauce to the ingredients if you want to use that for toppings, which I did. You could actually leave the cake as is. It's entirely up to you. I really enjoyed the nuts and the caramel, however, so let me know what you will do. As I said, this cake was absolutely delicious. It's a fun way to celebrate this time of year with the spice and the caramel. And here's a picture of my finished cake. All the ingredients are at the end of this clip, and of course on the website with directions. Link below. Okay, last but not least, some pumpkin spice hot chocolate. This is really for the adults. I'm telling you, this jacks you up. It has got so much sugar in it. So if you want to keep up with your kids on Halloween night, definitely drink some of this before you leave to go out. Anyway, to the recipe. You add in 24 ounces of chocolate chips. You add in sugar. You add in cocoa. You add in pumpkin spice. All the ingredients will be at the end of this clip and again on the website link below. And then you add your milk. Now, not thinking I'm adding a gallon of milk to this, I'm using the small crock pot, the 4.5 quart one. I couldn't even get all the milk in it, but it was enough to get this mixture going. And after I mixed it up and cooled it off, I put it back in the gallon jug of milk, well, with what milk was left, and it diluted it a little bit, so that was kind of nice. But my suggestion, use a bigger crock pot. 6 quart should have done it, maybe an 8 quart, not quite sure, would have to do the math. But like I said, if you just make this and then pour it back into the carton, you're good to go. And you'll be good to go on Halloween evening. You'll be running the kids. So I hope you enjoy it. It tastes delicious. I hope you've enjoyed all the meals today.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's recipes, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic Halloween. Be safe, have fun, and if you made it to the end of my video, leave me a skull emoji. Thanks, guys. I love you. I'll see you next week. All desserts in the crock pot. Bye, guys.